Hey, this is Carlotta. A lot of my customers have asked me to do a class on bread making. So I decided to make this playlist, and this is the first video. So be sure to keep clicking back to see all the others. Now let's learn how to make bread with Pampered Chef and Carlotta. So the first thing we want to talk about is yeast. Yeast is very important. Whether you buy the yeast in the packets or like this, I prefer to buy the yeast that comes in a jar, or you can buy cake yeast, which is preferred by professional bakers. But you can find this right in your store. So what we have to do is get it to the right temperature. So I suggest to you that you have a way to temperature the water. So I'm going to turn the hot water on, and I'm going to put this in here. And when this gets to 115, and right now this water is very, very cold, so this is the perfect little bowl to have your yeast grow in. You know, yeast has to grow. So I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Get it to the right temp. And if you have a cool little thermometer like this is perfect to do your temperatures. And another thing is make your bowl warm. And just go ahead and put it under the water. So this is about a cup of water, and looks perfect. It's at 110. So anything between 110 and 115 will work. So we're going to take about a tablespoon and a half of yeast. I'm just going to sprinkle it over just a little bit like this. And then sugar. You should always add sugar, a little bit of sugar to it. But we're just going to go ahead now. You can just take a knife like this and just go ahead and just whisk it around, not a lot. Just a tiny little bit. And you should already be able to see some of the bubbles coming up, just like that. And while that's doing its thing, and I do want to get a pinch of sugar, so I will just grab a little bit of sugar. And I think that as it looks to me like I can see it from clear over here, it's already bubbling a little bit. So we're just going to add a little pinch of sugar, which is always a good way. It kind of just feeds it a little bit. What we're doing is we're feeding it. I'll just give it another little twist. And again, you don't need anything fancy, just a little knife, just like that. And that will be perfect for it. All right, well, while our yeast is growing, we're going to proceed with the rest of our recipe. So what I have in my mixer is a dough hook, and I have a cup of sour cream in here, and I've got 2 eggs. And I already started to mix it up a little bit. And next we're gonna grab some butter. And I always like to say, you always need to have lots of butter. And from there, we're going to add a little bit of baking soda and some salt. And what really makes this bread yummy, other than me making it, is onion soup. Could not be easier. So we're just going to throw the onion soup in here. And I'm going to give it a whirl, just like this. This is a dough hook, by the way. And we're just going to let this mix around for just a second or two. Just like this. And then I'm going to start to add the flour. And I'll just turn it off, bring this back up, and begin to add the flour. Just like this. And I have it pretty much measured out here to about 8 cups because I want some flour left over for when I roll the dough out. So we're going to go again. Let the dough hook do its job. So let's talk a little bit about bread making 101. Bread baking is very, very easy to do. And if you don't have a dough hook, I'm going to show you just a little bit on how to knead the bread, which is another really easy way to do it. But if you have a dough hook on your mixer, this works nicely. And you could use this recipe in a bread machine if you have a bread machine at home. But personally, I think the bread tastes a lot better when you put all your love into it and you've kneaded it, and when it bakes in your oven, the smell is absolutely wonderful. So let's add a little bit more. I'm going to turn it off again. I'm going to add some more flour. This Pampered Chef batter bowl is perfect for measuring out your flour, along with this nice little spatula that we have here. And we're going to go back again. When you're making bread, patience really helps a lot. It's just, you know, leading up to the actual baking of the bread, you do have to do a couple of extra little steps. So, now I'm going to stop it again, and I'm going to push this flour down just like this. I can make cinnamon rolls. I like to make braids. I enjoy making different kinds of things. I can make yeast biscuits, which are to die for. I'm going to go again. I'm going to let it go like this. We don't want the flour jumping right out of there. So we'll just keep moving. It has to get to a certain feel. And when we get there, I will let you know. I'm just going to add a spot of hot water to that. And our yeast. So we're going to throw this in. I'm going to put this up. And our yeast. So we've given it a nice little whirl now, and you can see that the yeast has been growing. So we're going to put this in here. We're going to come back down and watch that you don't get splashed. So we're going to keep going. We're going to add some more flour. This takes about 8 cups of flour till we're all done. This. So how did I learn how to make bread? My sister, who is no longer with us, she was the one that got me started on making bread back in California when we lived back there, and I was just a very, very young girl, and that's how I began the bread making, and she taught me quite a bit about it. Here, we're going to add some more flour. This mixture is looking really good, just the way we want it to look. And that yeast is in there. I can already tell the yeast is telling it to grow. So we're going to keep going. Looks like we'll have just about enough flour. I can't wait to show you how it feels, what it's supposed to feel like. So you are getting a class from start to finish in 3 different segments. This is what we want. We want to start to see that ball start to happen. A little bit more. You remember, this is a heavier bread. This is not a real light bread because we have the sour cream in there, which immediately makes it to be a much heavier bread normally. So this type of a bread also, if I didn't put the onion soup mix in there, if we just took the onion soup mix out and the sour cream and just put everything else in, then you would have perfect dough for rolls. So there's a lot of different ways you can use this bread. You want to come in here and take a look at it now. Almost there, so I can tell by the feel it's still a little sticky. So we're going to go one more time. Now the dough got a little flour coming out. That's the way it goes. So this dough hook will do most of the job for you. And it's just, flour is just flying on, but hey, you're not a baker unless you get flour on you. That's why I have my Pampered Chef apron on. Okay. Look at this. It's a nice dough. It's not a real dry dough at all. So I'm gonna take it over here to my Pampered Chef pastry mat, which I could not be without. I'm gonna add a little flour over here, just like this. This is a wonderful pastry mat, by the way. I love that it has measurements on it. And we'll just put this right here. And I'm going to take a little bit of flour in my hands. Remember now, this is going to be sticky. And I'm just going to bring it out just like this. And I'm going to take some flour, put it on my hands. I love this part too. I love to knead bread. Kneading bread is so relaxing. When you're kneading, all your worries go away and you just enjoy this nice, soft dough. So this is how we do it. We come like this, and we come like this, and we come like this, and then we roll it around, and then we do it again. So you're probably wondering, how do you know when you're done kneading the bread? I could have kept it in the mixer a little bit longer, but as I said, it's just something that I have a delight in doing. Just like this. And again, and again, and again. And that is how you knead bread. So the next step that we're going to do, we're going to proof it. And I happen to have a proofer in my quick cooker, and I have a proofer on in my oven. But because this is a little heavier bread, I think we're going to go with the proofer that's in the oven today. So, nice little ball of dough just like that. And I think I'll just grab, I'll be back. I'm going to grab this. This is a good bowl. We're going to actually use the bowl from the quick cooker. And just going to put it in here, just like this. You can see what that looks like. And I'm going to put a towel over this. And I'm going to put this in my oven. And this will take about an hour to rise. Thank you.